Welcome to episode 14 of Breaking Hertz. Kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Rodnick Malik Casino, aka Mr. Metronome, aka your girlfriend's boyfriend. And for the new year, there's nothing new.
You know, I'm not kidding. I kind of missed that rundown. So I'm just going to say hello and Happy New Year to you. It's a Chinese New Year. Chinese Lunar New Year.
Lunar New Year. It isn't
the
just
year of the
Chinese.
rabbit. And kama kawaida, it's me, Sookie Murage, a.k.a. Anita Murage, a.k.a. Jessica Rabbit. So I'm a happy rabbit this year. Am I a happy rabbit this year? Is that something I want to say on...
No, we are manifesting happiness.
Yes,
we are manifesting.
And prosperity and peace.
And that's the theme around the year of the rabbit, by the way. For those who don't know, the year of the rabbit represents peace, happiness, and prosperity.
Yes.
And for all our Asians watching at home, Gong Shifakai, or Ama Gong Shifachai, whatever. That means apparently I wish you money.
I was wondering what it meant because like I've seen you like write it on your IG today, and I didn't understand it.
I think I butchered the pronunciation, but it means I wish you money in the new year. And don't we all wish money for the new year?
It's supposed to be a bit nasal. Okay, never mind. Let's not get into it.
We're not doing lines in the club, please.
We have an exciting show prepared for today and a couple of exciting episodes to come for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But today we're going to warm you up by talking about some of the projects we've listened to this year. People have been releasing music since day one, which is amazing. I feel like the air is definitely a lot more different. People are really coming in with a more jubilant mood. Artists are ready to show us some things. Tumekuwa na teasers. Yeah, so let me...
Can I start?
Yeah, you get started.
Okay then. For me, I feel like I really haven't been in the loop for new releases as much as I would want to, because I feel like there are a lot of artists who I follow like a lot are now just starting the rollout of their projects. And you know, January is usually a slow month for everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So I've been listening to a lot of like older stuff, like comfort picks. For one, Writer's Block, Peter, Bjorn and John, indie pop classic. Let's Call It Off. That's like the perfect breakup song. Let's call the whole thing up. Sampled by Drake on So Far Gone in 2009. This is Icona Pop by Icona Pop, one of the best electronic albums I've ever listened to, actually, I think ever made. And I really hate the fact that I'm talking about the original Swedish release, not the international release that really fucked it up, because when they put out I Love It, and I Love It went like super, super, super viral, big in the clubs.
Yeah.
They had to retool the whole album and make it more club friendly for basically for clubs, really, for the American market, and it really ruined what was a really good project beforehand, really experimental, pushing the limits of what electronic music could be. Another comfort pick, Rumors by Fleetwood Mac.
Ooh, that's a really good pick.
Yeah. What happens when everyone in a band is going through a breakup? That's
they kind of sort of also dated each other, so it's like mess on mess on mess. It's perfect.
John and Christy McVie were married.
Yeah.
Lindsey Buckingham was dating Stevie Nicks, and they were splitting up. Mick Fleetwood was splitting up with his wife at the moment, and all of that energy just coalesced into an outpouring of just
my feelings
zingine strong. Like Christy McVie wrote and sang lead on You Make Loving Fun. And that song isn't even about her husband, who is actually in the band. It's about a roadie. Like,
that's messy as hell.
So uko hapo bibi yako anaimba You Make Loving Fun, uko hapo una smile, and she's singing it about another man. Go Your Own Way was written by Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks about the end of their relationship. The Chain is such an amazing song.
The guitar at the end is what really gets me. I play it specifically to like wake up in the morning sometimes. It's an uplifting riff. Fucking love it. But
then there's another comfort pick, Nightlife by Fantogram. EP from 2011 has had like the sleeper hit Don't Move. That's been in a lot of movies. It's been in a lot of movies that people don't really, but they don't know the song, but you've heard it a lot of times. There's also been, I saw their music was trending on TikTok actually. Like they have Blackout Days was in part of a TikTok sound, Instagram reel sound, which is good for them because they're really good at what they do. And Nightlife is sort of like a teaser of what they really are. It's like, here's a sampler plate of what Fantogram can be.
Yeah.
So you have to listen to that, then you go into I Lead Movies, then you go into what's it called, Blackout Days. No, not Blackout Days, Voices, and then there's 3. So it's just like, if you want to start listening to Phantogram, who I really can't explain what their genre of music is, because I don't think they even know what their genre is. So you start with Nightlife, then you can go into Eyelid Movies, you can go into Voices, you can go into 3. 3 also has an amazing breakup song called You Don't Get Me High Anymore.
I love You Don't Get Me High.
Exactly. By the way, if you're thinking of ending your relationship, Tunakpatia like the perfect song to send to your like significant other. Like just make a playlist. We can give you 10 songs that he'll get the message. She'll get the message.
That's painful, man. That's music you're never going to listen to the same way ever again.
Whose fault is that?
Damn.
Exactly. So that's what I've been listening to, and just a lot of stuff we talked about last year, so I don't want to go over it a lot. But another favorite, a recent favorite, maybe Zinia Manase and Ukweli. I've been listening to that tape on replay for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to actually seeing her perform on the 12th.
Oh yeah, at Cavalli.
No. That's on the 29th. On the 12th is Nairobi R&B.
Oh, Nairobi R&B, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not going for the Cavalli performance with Mali?
Finances. Kama iko na feel sufficiently philanthropic by the ticket ni tao.
Ticket ni sawa, I'm only 1.5.
Okay, I did not know that.
But I'm also curious about over the weekend you'd gone for a listening party. Are you allowed to tell us what happened there?
I will, but I want you to
unataka nipeane maoni yangu kwanza. Sawa. This year has been interesting. I've been listening to a lot of playlists mostly, but I got into a couple of projects specifically because some of them felt like Christmas gifts. Maliza Roho 1 by Traboli and Akili Black came out on DSPs around Christmas time.
Oh, yeah, it was on Bandcamp before, yes?
It was on Bandcamp for like most of the year,
Mm-hmm.
but they released it on DSPs later in the year around Christmas, so that's why I'm calling it a Christmas gift, because he followed it up with 2, which is a continuation of Maliza Roho. And I think it's one of my favorite rollouts of last year, specifically because they went into just YouTube series. They had this series called the Sofa Sets, where they were having conversations about what was going on in the album, the kind of process that they had gotten into. So I thoroughly enjoyed like listening and re-listening to that on DSPs. And then I got into a bit of R&B. I listened to a couple of new artists, new to me, like Nema Nekesa. She has an EP out from last year called Lost. And Nema Nekesa is actually Ethiopian. She's Ethiopian born, and she lives in the Netherlands.
Neema Nekesa. Why does that sound very Luya?
It does. That's what confused me. Like I read her bio and I was like, okay.
That name sounds like the name of a person who can make a very fire kienyeji chicken. Kuku kienyeji na mrenda.
But she's Habesha, and Habesha like through and through.
For real?
Yeah. So like I was really curious about like why the name Neema Nekesa.
Which man from Western alipotea akaenda hapa nini? Like, you know, unaweza kuta tu kuna mse fulani anaweza kutembea kutoka Western akajipata tu Ethiopia one day. Akisema might as well just settle here.
Yeah. And then I got into Samboli James myself. I got into Samboli James at some point. I wanted to look for more producer-rapper duos. That's what I'm really focusing on for this month. And I really like his work with The Alchemist. So I got into The Price of Tea in China from 2020.
Very fire.
Yeah.
Very, very fire album.
I loved it. I loved it. And after that, I got into The List 2 by Armani Caesar, which is honestly my Bible for the year. Like, I listen to it every day for... We'll talk more about it later in the show.
Yep.
But I really, really love The List 2. Pelo de Rata by Matias Pizarro. It's a 1975 jazz album. I particularly enjoyed reading an article about it. It's on the Tidal website by one of my favorite music journalists. His name is Marcus J. Moore. He also wrote this book about Kendrick. That is not what I should say when I'm introducing you to someone that I actually really like, someone whose work I really enjoy. But Marcus J. Moore.
I'm not that much of a Kendrick stan, so.
Really?
No, like, I'm not that.
Kagishu, we are sorry.
No, you're not. What do you mean that you're sorry? Hi.
You're going to start trash talking him on
No,
the first
no,
episode
no,
of the year.
no, I'm not
like,
going. Why would I trash talk Kendrick? I love his music. I'm not a stan. I just said I'm not a stan.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
I can critique his music like with a bit of leeway.
But okay, yes. But what I wanted to say about like Marcus's process for the book that I found particularly interesting is that Kendrick was not willing or like able, I think, to be interviewed for the book itself. So Marcus went around the block, kind of interviewing everybody around him to put the book together, which I thought was really a really interesting way to approach music journalism, and definitely a great way to get insight about who Kendrick is, especially in his community. So there's that. After Pelo de Rata, which is by Matias Pizarro, if I haven't said that. Pizarro, Pizarro.
If you watch football, you would know that name. Like Claudio Pizarro played for Bayern Munich, Werder Bremen.
It's a Chilean name.
It's South American, I know.
Yes, it's Chilean jazz, and I particularly liked it's super powerful. That's all I'll say about it. If you're looking for something with like very powerful instrumentals, drums, just I can't put it into words. It was just a phenomenal listen. And then I got into In These Times by Makaya McCraven from 2022. And that's also jazz. If you're into contemporary jazz, you should listen to Makaya McCraven as well. And finally, this morning, I listened to Seek, which is Wakadinali's latest release.
It's not even Wakadinali though.
It's pseudo, yeah.
And by the way, and that's like a pet peeve. Why would they do that to us?
What?
Why would they do that to us? Like, why would they put out under the... Because, you know...
Yeah, under the...
It's false advertising.
No, but see Wako, like, it's still... Like, he's still part of Zoza Nation, right? But there's still, like... The bits and pieces, like Wako, like...
Okay, I get that they're there, but are they the lead...
Are
they the lead artist on the project?
No, see...
It's a pet peeve of mine by them. Because I feel like that man should have his own his own space where he can grow by himself.
If he's part of the label, then he has it's like Griselda. It's like you're listening to Liz too. Mm-hmm. You have Benny the Butcher there. You have West Side Gun there. You have
I get all of that. I get all of that. My problem is my beef here. The fact that it's under the Wakadinali DSP tag.
Yeah.
Benny the Butcher has his own, like, we start Benny the Butcher, utapata Benny the Butcher, and you'll see his projects. The fact that you get a notification, there's a new Cardinali album out, and you're like, oh, great, you go check it out. It's not even them, regardless of how much they're featured.
Okay.
And how good it is. That's just a pet peeve by the way. Just allow me to have this.
So you mean the way, like, people will search for Breaking Hertz and find us under the good company?
Okay. No, but shows work differently. Shows work differently.
I mean...
Shows work... Like, but how many shows does BuzzFeed have?
Okay, fair.
It's a production company.
Yeah.
Like, Universal Records don't have their own, like, Spotify page.
I mean, yeah, but, like, I'm saying, like, if the goal was to make sure that people get to see the album, like, let's say we already follow Cardinali on DSPs.
Yeah.
And, you know, you see that there's a new project out and it's pseudo, then you're going to listen to the project because...
Regardless.
It doesn't matter. It's a great marketing tactic.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I just feel like... I didn't like the false advertising.
It was a great listen either way. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, it really was a great listen. I should have put it on my list. Anyway.
Yeah, and now we can...
Talk about the listening party.
Yeah.
And it's going to segue into what we're going to talk about next. Mm-hmm. We were invited to a listening party by Deeper Connection last Saturday. We're recording this on the 23rd, so it was on the 21st. We were invited. You weren't around. You had gone...
Yeah, I'd left town for the weekend.
You had gone to face Mount Kenya, apparently. I don't know if that's a Kikuyu ritual. I have no idea.
We have to give our thighs at the beginning of the year. You know, that's how we make money. There you have it. You needed a secret.
But anyway, it was so much fun because, first of all, the EP is great. The EP it's really well produced. It is bouncy. It feels like a mix of Afrofusion and Gengeton.
Ooh.
And I loved it so much. I enjoyed the entire vibe of the party. Especially it was at Santuri, the one in Kilimani.
Moringa.
Yeah. It's, you know the way it is. It's outdoors. Guys are sitting on the grass. Guys are just vibing.
Yeah.
There's drinks and other paraphernalia just flowing around. It was a really good time. I appreciate the artistry, and more importantly, I really like. We are deep in the brokies, but soon.
Soon we finna make it.
Soon we finna make it. But let me touch some paper and then I'll go actually buy the album because it's only 500 bob.
On, a physical copy.
On Hustle Sasa. I've said this a million times on the show. Support the artists. The amount of money that the artists will make from you buying the actual album on Hustle Sasa, it's 500 bob. If you go right now to any high-end bar in Nairobi, ukipeana 500 bob unapatiwa beer na change. You can't even get, it's not even the price of 2 beers anymore.
It's a price of ni streetwise 2, bado.
Exactly.
For 90.
It's the price of a streetwise 2.
Yeah, and you're not eating streetwise 2 this year. Like,
yeah, we're not. Like,
buy some music, man.
Buy some music. Take care of your body. Feed your mind. Support the Kenyan arts scene.
Mind-gut connection. Deeper connection.
So, support the artists. I really enjoyed the fact that something I really liked was the fact that they had QR codes at the listening party. So if you couldn't find their Hustle Sasa page, all you had to do was just scan the QR code and it would take you directly there. And I think that's something more artists should do at their listening parties. Or any event you're hosting, actually. Just have a way of people to purchase your music.
Yeah, and see more of what you're about.
See more, like, because streaming, there's no more money in streaming. I saw St. John say he wrote a song for Usher. And he got 70 million streams. And the amount of money he got from writing the song from like Spotify and whatever was $1,500.
That's crazy.
And kumbuka that.
That's after all the marketing.
You get I think it's $3,000 for 1 million streams. So like it's ilikuwa pesa kidogo sana basically.
That's sad, man.
He said like it was better off if he would have put it out by himself, so that even if he was gonna get the amount of money, it would have been all his. Like, and even with that $3,000, you don't get the full amount because there's always the agreement between the DSP and the label how you're gonna split the revenue. Because the DSP is never gonna give you the full amount. What you earn $3,000 after 1 million streams, but the DSP is gonna take half and give you the other half, and then the other half goes down into, oh, look at the split sheet. Who's taking this? Who's taking that? Did we sample this? So the money is broken down into so many little bits that
by the time you
see nothing. So support your favorite artist, by the way. Support Deeper Connection. Shout out to them for the invite. Make sure you get their EP. It's on Hustle Sasa. It's like 5 tracks, all of them bangers. DJs, if you need something to spice up your playlist, if you need something new to play in the club that people will vibe to, check out the EP.
Yeah.
Now, it's a new year. With new expectations, new possibilities, and new ways to ruin your life. So, what are we looking forward to for Kenyan music this year?
Personally, I want to hear a lot more from the experimental genre. I feel like last year was a year that opened up the floor for a lot more genre-specific parties. Shout out to The Mist.
Oh, shout out to The Mist forever.
I particularly like that, like more people are getting into jungle. So like the more intentional communities in terms of the kind of music that people are listening to when they go out. It's not just, like you go, if you want to listen to Afrobeats, you can go to the club. If you want to listen to Amapiano, you can, slot in one of the events that's happening over the weekend. If you want to listen to house, you can go for Gondwana. Like there are different events for different people, but like besides events, we want to hear more of like the creations that people are coming up with, because if culture is that important in like how music is created, then there must be an abundance of it, and we haven't like scraped the surface. So I think something that we should do on Breaking Hertz, which is just an expectation I want to put out for us, is try and bring some of these genres to the fore. Like, it doesn't matter if it's outsider music, like any kind of music that we come across that's weird, we have to commit to bringing it here to the show. Not weird, but
weird,
different
good,
in
weird,
a sense.
bad.
Not weird, bad. There's no weird, bad. Okay, personally, I don't believe that like there can be terrible music.
Let me just use a TikTok sound.
Okay.
Not funny, haha. Funny, weird. Exactly. There's where you're like okay.
Yeah.
There's like, ooh, that's nice and weird.
No, there's music that's for you and there's music that's not for you. You can say that. So it's like if you go out of your way to look for a genre that you're not familiar with, that's created by a Kenyan artist, you bring it here.
Okay.
And we talk about it with the introductions that we have.
Okay,
it's part of the. It's a public service. Like if you come here to,
you're a host on this show. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Nasama true. It's a public service by us for the people that come here to look for stuff to listen to during the week. Like we talk about all kinds of music, but like the different genres popping up or cropping up in Kenyan music right now. We need to put a spotlight on that stuff. Ooh. And I'm ready. What are you looking forward to? Or what do you expect?
Anything else from you first?
Kuna mengi, endelea tu. Like we'll bounce to
for me, I am really looking forward to, first of all, the further emergence of the new group of Kenyan artists. I feel like COVID really slowed down a lot. Yeah. And last year, ilikuwa COVID hangover. Guys are still finding their feet.
Yeah.
We were at Blankets, by the way, which was a really good time. And just amazing. Seeing the artists on the billing, Ethan Muziki, Watenda Willy, Maga, Wendy K, Only Rosa.
Also, it was super organized. Like, I loved how the time slots were so on the money. Did you know it?
I loved it because I was at Soulfest Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
And as much as I fuck with Sauti Soul and love their music and love everyone who works at Nini, who is under Soulgen, it was very poorly organized. Because guys, I was leaving there at 5:30, 6 in the morning, and if Ben Sol was going on stage, I had a friend who actually left at 6:30 after Ben Sol performed. 6:37, he was going to get an Uber
in the morning.
In the morning at 7, and then he was like, the Uber was like 1,800 shillings. He was like, no, matatus are outside. So he just went to the supermarket, bought himself eggs, sausages, like bacon, bread. Got in the matatu and went home and made himself breakfast, and it was cheaper than paying for
those are pre-COVID hours, man.
And that's the thing, like guys aren't supposed to be leaving at that time, because I was with friends who don't go out as much as I do, or who aren't like involved in the music scene. So by 2 o'clock, all of us guys were tired. They're like, oh, Hafare, we're old, we need to go home. And you're like, Sauti Sol are coming in at 3. Like in USA, I also want to get 3:30. So these guys paid so much money to come and see you, and you guys are coming in at this time. Like, it's a bit disrespectful. Honestly, I would have been mad as hell if I had paid for a ticket. But really, like, you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. But anyway.
as you just have. But anyway,
yeah, like, I can complain, but I can be like, I still had fun. Like, for people who paid for, like, imagine for 5K, 6K for Golden Circle, whatever, those guys really deserve to complain. Me naza kuja niseme, okay, maybe time could have been better, but I had fun. Mr. Complain.
But I wanna bring you back to what you were talking about. The array of artists at Blankets.
Yeah.
And what you hope they'll build on this year. Blankets is back. Blankets is back.
Blankets is back. We know, we have details we can divulge. Ndikiwa tuambie in due time what's going on and what's next. But we are going to tell you the truth. Blankets is back. So anyway, like guys, when I mentioned Ethan Muziki, Mutoria, Charisma, all those guys who have been just on the fringe of Kenyan popular music, just about to break into it. And this is the year I really hope, and I'm looking forward to them actually breaking that glass ceiling. Because I know those guys did Wazi Wazi Festival last year.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it, but I really want to go again. I think they're going to do it again. And when they do it, I'm going to be there. Charisma had his own show. Like, imefika ile point where these artists can actually book their own small venues and fill it out.
Yeah, I think that's something that you see the Cavalli event that Zinnia has with Mali. Is it next Sunday? This coming Sunday. Zinnia only got booked once last year.
Yeah.
In Nairobi, and she talked about it on her Twitter that she, thought it was a bit. It was outlandish because, like everyone listens to Zinnia and like how is she not getting booked as often as she gets booked abroad, for instance? So I think that's something that I'm really looking forward to as well.
I feel like it's part of the COVID hangover.
Yeah.
And that's something I'm also going to go into.
Is it a promotion problem or?
I feel like once all the promoters, once COVID came about, a lot of promoters stopped like their activities, and just being able to kick it back into high gear,
Yeah.
it takes a bit of time.
It
Because
does.
not everyone has the resources that Blankets might have, or Solgen might have, or Koroga might have, who
Yeah.
hoping for Koroga this year too. So that's the next thing for me. I want more Kenyan events. I want more events for more artists to perform. We need to bring back live music. We need to bring back like live. You remember when Thursday Night Live at Jay's?
Yeah.
It used to be so much fun.
Yeah, it
We need to bring
was.
back a scene where artists can actually go and perform. Doesn't matter what day it is. There was this thing. Was it Patricia who was hosting it at? I can't remember. It was Patricia Kihoro.
Yeah,
at
it was at
Speaker Box.
K1. Yeah, Speaker Box
Speaker
was
Box.
really good. But now there's Rabuko sessions as well. I've seen a lot of acoustic artists going to perform there. It's a salad bar at the mall. And I think the last artist that they had was Liboy. Last year they had Shano Maimba, they had Tetushani. They've had a roster every Wednesday. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, go support Kenyan. Like a lot of artists lost a lot of time
Yeah.
because of COVID, because they couldn't go out and actually perform and connect with the fans.
Yeah.
So I feel like now we're kicking back into where we were in like 2018, 2019.
It's definitely high gear, yeah.
So let's go out, let's support the artist if you really, because it's fun. It's always fun to go for those events because it's not a Friday and it's not really crowded. You can have a cheap drink. There's always drinks offers. The music is live. Like you can even join the artists on stage if you want to. So that's also something I'm looking forward to this year. And yeah, you?
Kwani, that's all you had to say. That's all you're looking forward to.
No, like see, you said you're changing the rules. You're changing the rules katikati ya game hapana. Hii si poker by the way. Umeficha kadi kwa sleeve. Nakushuku sana.
Oh my god. For me, I think one thing that I'm really looking forward to is also just seeing a lot more content around Kenyan music. I've come across a couple of podcasts that have also come up this year. Afamefuna, and I think I really don't want to butcher this name, so if I say it wrong, please forgive me. But is it A-R-E-R? A-R. Yeah. They started a podcast called 30% Podcast, which is supposed to challenge music. I mean, the fact that Kenyan music is only played, about 30% of Kenyan music is played on radio stations.
Yeah.
So they want to have more conversations about Kenyan music culture. I think it's a really great platform. Everyone should have their own opinions about, Kenyan music culture. Besides, dominating or like leaving radio to have that dominating aura around what can be said about Kenyan culture. We've already seen Homeboys get. Is it Homeboys?
Was it Kiss? I don't really know because I don't listen to that much radio.
Yeah, I don't listen to that guy, but like I saw Trio Mio.
Yeah, Venant, do you know which station it was that Trio Mio pulled up to?
It must. Is it Switch? Is it? I don't know.
But it should be. Might be Spice FM. Maybe
it's not Spice.
Okay, I don't know me.
But yeah, like.
And that's it's weird how like
you don't want people to start saying that they're the conversation starters.
Yeah.
Everyone is having the conversations, so like having more of those conversations online, having more platforms where those conversations are happening, places that artists can also find their way to like tell their stories. In an interesting and fresh way. I really want to see more of that.
But they shout out to Trio for actually owning the narrative, because some artists would have just gone on Twitter and just say the radio station is hating on us, and then it would have turned into a topic on radio tomorrow. Are artists too entitled to radio? And then you'd have just had the presenter saying, if your song is good, we have no reason not to play it. Make better music and we'll play your songs, while repeating the same Nigerian playlist. Shout out to my Nigerian artists, by the way. I love how Trio owned the narrative to the point where
he went to the studio for an entire interview himself.
He took them an actual printed L, and they had to hold it. They literally held that L, and I love it. Trio came out and put out a song. I could point out that mnyotu mna worry about my grades. Like me, I'm not even worried. Like I'm talented. I'm going to make it regardless. You don't define my success.
Exactly.
So you're just guys on radio. Like the same way we're just guys on the internet. We don't define any artist's success.
Yeah.
So don't ever let it go to your head to the point where you think that, unasema ati akifail LCSC.
Exactly.
Like maybe when will you fail LCLC?
Also, people don't start conversations, they shape them. There are a number of people shaping the conversation.
Exactly.
So let's just say what.
Shout out to Trio. Actually, I'm looking forward to what Trio can do now that he doesn't have to worry about chemistry. Bro.
Was he an enter prefect?
I don't even know.
He was.
He was alikuwa prefect wa enter.
Ama, that was a rumor. That was probably a rumor. But like amemaliza KCSE, so
Yeah,
congratulations to him as well.
Hakuna camp paper tu. Hakuna kuambiwa ati amka asubuhi mazee usome. Ati maths itakushinda. Hakuna vectors na income tax. My boy, just go to the studio. Sawa. Sai shika kitabu kalamu, give us bangers. That's what we want.
Exactly.
Now we'll buy the album, by the way. When the album comes out, I will nitatoa pesa yangu mfuko ninunue album. Sawa. Put money in Kenyan artist pockets.
Exactly. So, what else are you looking forward to in Kenyan music this year? See, tuna bounce.
For me personally, and maybe no pressure on these artists, but I'd like to see some artists now just like give us what we really deserve. Feed the streets. Tetushani, I'm talking to you. Because Tetu has a really strong fan base.
Yeah.
Remember the time he did the...
Analokanga. We're also watching you.
Oh my God, Analokanga, I know you're going to watch this. I know I'm supposed to call you back, and I will. And I will call you back. Karun. Yeah, we haven't had Karun in a while.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. I can't wait for that.
There's a lot of artists by the...
Also, Lou has been posting a couple of Mr. Lou. He's been posting a couple of pictures teasing just the people that he's collaborating with for whatever he's cooking up. We have no idea.
Blinky Bill.
Yeah, Blinky Bill. We've been waiting for a couple of years now, but no pressure. But
no, he gave me some insights about like the album at Black. You weren't there yet.
Is it fine? Ali talk about it. Yeah. So it was
We can't reveal it on here, but off air strong. Yeah.
So sour.
Yeah, Blinky Bill, the Kenyan artist who...
Wait, you've had a bad boy piece of information this whole time. We talk every day, Hafare. Like, damn.
You know, the funny thing is I completely forgot until Saizi. I completely forgot that he had told me something about the album.
Okay,
and
conversation
we'll just
shaping,
keep it, you know. There's also, like, artists who've been... Like, you know, artists who are repackaging themselves, guys like Serone. I saw him last year at... I think for Universal, because now he's under Universal, he has a really good project coming out. And also I want the Gengeton boys to actually make a bloody comeback. And, you know, like, Shuka na Madam is the best Kenyan song of the past decade.
It is.
Like, I want Boondocks Gang to make a proper comeback. Like, no pressure on you guys.
They had a project late last year, though, but it didn't... hit the spots that Madam hit for me. So yeah,
I want the Gengeton boys to like make a proper comeback. So no pressure to anybody. Like you don't have to do anything because I said so. But if you did, I would really appreciate it. Sawa. Minika Oliver Twist, please, sir. I want some more. Yeah, you don't have to do anything because I said so. But if you did, myself and a lot of your fans would really appreciate it because I know Tetushani, the streets are waiting. Blinky Bill, the streets are really waiting.
The streets have been waiting.
And I don't know what, and I'm sure he'll put out the Just a Band project first. They'll put out Just a Band project first before they put out...
I thought they would last year as well, but like last year was also just a year.
Yeah.
It was a year.
2023 is a new year with new opportunities.
The year of the rabbit, indeed.
But then, like, Just a Band, we would love to have you on the show. Hata kama ni mtu moja mawili to talk about the... me, I'm shooting my shot.
Isn't if it was a back office? Like...
Manifesting.
Fair.
You don't know how to manifest?
I know how to manifest.
Exactly.
I'm a third eye babe. I know these things.
You're a third eye what?
I was gonna say a third eye bitch, but like nah. Let's keep it.
You believe in the power of the tongue?
I do. I do.
Follow him. So yeah, there's that. I really hope those artists and a lot more of artists like nimesahau watu wengi sana who I would really want to. This is the year that they need to like bring it back and show us like as in Kenyan music is great because we are getting to a point where you can't even say Kenyan music is bad anymore. You can't. That conversation is dead.
Yeah.
Kenyan music is amazing and I want all these artists to show everyone how amazing they are. Trio amesha deal na watu radio. Like Trio amesha wapiga manyaunyo.
Exactly.
Hivyo tu. So the rest of you kazi yenyu tu ni kuja tu just give us the music and we'll be good. And now before we close, there's something we didn't manage to talk about like our end of year picks last year. And I don't think like we are gonna do it. But there's something I wanted you and me to talk about. 5 underrated projects from last year. Because I know the big ones, there's always gonna be a list. Because the list came out. The list for Kenyan music
And you also had your mega list.
Oh, yeah,
I
my
started
mega
making
list.
my own mega list because I was very intimidating. I'm intimidated. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was.
What do you mean? See,
How many projects did you listen to last year?
231, I think.
God damn.
And I feel so bad because I wanted to hit 365. But the thing is,
So it's a project a day, or like just have that as a
and
marker.
the thing is now, I listen to something once, and then like if I like it,
You'll listen to it again.
And if I like it, I listen to it a third time. But if I really don't fuck with it, I listen to it once.
And do you add the projects that you're revisiting as well to the list?
Yeah, like it's whatever I listen to. Even if I listened to it last year, if I listen to it this year, it'll have to be on the list. And there are projects that will always be on the list because I will always listen to them at least once or twice a year. Covert Coup by Currency at The Alchemist. That's a go-to. Love Me, no, not Love Me and Everything. What's it called? Passion Palette by Flamingosis. No, not Passion Palette. Pleasure Palette by Flamingosis. And then there's the Yellow Album by Dom Kennedy. There's always go-tos that I have. And I always listen to at least once or twice a year. They'll always be there. But it's always something new for me. Yeah.
That's dope.
So you can start with your 5?
Okay, I'll get started with my 5. I'll try to run through them as quickly as possible. So I had said Maliza Roho 1 was one of the projects that I revisited earlier this month. My favorite thing about it and why I think it's underrated is because the rollout was very potent. I talked about the YouTube series, which we'll definitely link down below, and the fact that it was released on Bandcamp earlier in the year. And later on, just following the story, after listening to 2, I particularly like the relationship that Tra and Akili have with each other. I feel like Akili makes beats to bring out the best of Tra's bars, and seeing the process through listening to this project and the kind of work that they've been releasing over the past couple of years has been amazing. So I think Maliza Roho 1 is definitely one album that everyone should check out. SMS for Location Volume 5 by Moonshine. I will talk about Moonshine today because I really wanted to talk about them towards the end of last year, and I feel like if we saw Moonshine play live in Kenya, we would collectively heal. I just knew it. Because it's a combination of, it's club music, but it's also fusions of Lingala and Amapiano meeting. And just like, it sounds like the rumba that you grew up listening to met the Amapiano that you listen to now. And had a child. Okay. Fathered by Pierre Quendas, who is the head of, okay, not the head, I wouldn't call him the head, it's a collective, but Pierre also won the Polaris Prize for Music for his project Jose Luis and the Paradox of Love. He's based in Montreal, and but he's born in Congo. And I feel like the way that he fuses his influences and the things that he listened to growing up with the music that he listens to now, or like just club music in general, is fantastic. So I'm putting you on to Pierre Quendas, I'm putting you on to Moonshine, I'm putting you on to Obominga, because that song...
Moonshine? Because I don't know, in my mind I was thinking of Moonchild. You know Moonchild?
No, I know Moonchild. Moonchild with a Y.
No, like Moonchild the band.
Oh yes, I know Moonchild the band.
They did Texas Moon and Texas Sun with Leon Bridges.
Yeah.
No, that was quite... Why am I confusing? That's not Moonchild.
Moonchild is... I can see the babe, I can see her tiny desk. Yeah, that's Krangbin.
Krogbin. Moonchild are like... They're blue-eyed soul.
Yeah.
They sound black as hell until you see them and you realize they're white. They're like Anini. It's like Bobby Caldwell. Like once people discover Bobby Caldwell,
no, I did not expect that. I was actually pretty mad when I found out, but also excited.
Yeah, I was thinking. I don't know why I was thinking it's Moonchild.
No.
Moonshine.
It's Moonshine, like the drink.
Oh, Changa.
Yeah, and it's also just a collective that's it's global, like many different nationalities coming together to create this music. Like I think the artists from Brazil, the artists from everywhere, and that's what I love about SMS for Location Volume 5. You should listen to all of them in general too. I think everyone should listen to them for sure. Nocturnals by HR The Messenger and Suicida.
Shout out HR.
Do I have notes? I don't know if I have notes. I feel like I've talked about this project before. I just think that it's not being talked about enough. And I find them such a lovely duo. Like Pamoja, they just have a way of communicating that feels very soulful, but also manages to hit certain spots for me. Let me not get too much into it because I want to talk a lot about The List 2 by Armani Caesar, which is my Bible for the year. She's perfected the art of making music for misunderstood women. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
What do you mean? If that's your Bible, what does that say about you?
I am a misunderstood woman. I just gotta say. And my thing about her is...
Oh my God. The therapist will love you. The therapist will love you.
I bankroll them myself. So
but if you see a therapist, the posh. The pesa ya Sookie, by the way.
I see my therapist's house when we're talking on Zoom, and I'm like, yeah, I pay for that. I know that. But I want to say, First Wives Club is a meditation. That's something that everyone should listen to every morning. As long as you're a woman, you need to listen to The List 2. She makes me want to put a photo of her up on a wall in my house. And every time I'm not like making my own bag, I want to go up and say, I'm sorry, Armani Caesar. Like, I want to apologize to her for not having
the Dexter meme.
Yes.
Like the Dexter meme.
I failed you. That's exactly what I want. Because I feel like there's no way that I can listen to this woman rap. There's no way I can listen to her say something like, sorry, I'm really losing my flow here. and
You're caught up in the moment. Take a breath.
Bank account like a bank account looking good as hell, like a BBL. Wow, it changed figures. That's a bar. That's a line. She had
But if you're a BBL, holla at me.
Bank account like a BBL.
Yeah, like shooting my shot, brother. Like Instagram models in my life.
But like, yeah, so me, I want my bank account to look good as hell. I wanted to have a BBL the way it changed figures. I want that for myself this year. So listening to The List 2
Manifesting
is a manifestation ritual. Misunderstood Women is actually not something that I pulled out of my ass. Like, legit, the cover is Elizabeth Taylor, one of the most misunderstood women in the world, I think.
But does she have 3 eyes on the cover?
Yes, it has three eyes on the cover.
Yeah.
The 3-eyed bitch thing was definitely just a sprinkle of foreshadowing for that.
I
but
got
like,
that, Maze. I have culture, apparently.
And finally, I really want to talk about Kazi Kwa Vijana because it's an Espresso and Friends classic. It's everyone that's part of Espresso and Friends coming together on this project. That's mainly Mr. Lou and King Kabi, but you get to hear all their individual strengths in particular on this project. So it's all of them approaching their zenith, and I feel like they are definitely a crew that we should be looking forward to listening to a lot more this year. So without taking too much of your time.
Now, let's first talk about Espresso, just a little bit. I really want to, because I talked to Mr. Lou about this, I really want on the next Espresso project, I just want an interlude where I just talk shit. Like just an interlude. Like Hafare says things about life.
No, you've got it.
For a minute and 15 seconds, let me just get in there and say the most random things. I just want just a break from the music. You guys can do your thing. Track 7, just allow me. Niingie to play some soft jazz in the background. Nianze to drop tidbits about life, sawa?
Hafare's interlude.
Sindio. If Drake has them, why can't I?
Manifesting, Maze, manifesting.
Now we're almost out of time, so I'll quickly go through my list. Number 1, on my 5 albums that I really think are underrated from last year, Digital Roses Don't Die by Big Crit. Big Crit has been for 10, 12 years one of the biggest like stalwarts and at the front face of Southern rap, especially like Atlanta, the Atlanta style. And I really wanted him to keep in that vein, but Digital Roses Don't Die is more R&B, it's softer, it's smoother, it's more melodic. He's tapping into styles he's never tapped in before. And the thing with Big Crit is he's a much better producer than he's a rapper, and he's an absolutely amazing rapper. So his production is top notch. It's on a level that you wouldn't believe. So the production on the album is really, really good. It feels like a smooth R&B album, but with rap on it. It's very 38 minutes long, so it's a very easy listen to get through. There's one song called Road Clean that I play almost every day. Very smooth, very jazzy. That's a song, by the way, for Valentine's, for those who are not going to be dumped in the next few weeks. That's an album
through a playlist of your making.
A playlist of our making. So if you want to nini, if you want to get into that, this is the perfect time to get into that smooth, relaxed R&B type of style. It feels like, imagine if Drake was from, what's this place called? From Mississippi.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh, fantastic.
Next is Made in Kigali by Made Beats. Ooh. Like
It's Made Beats and Mike Kaihura.
there's a song on there.
There's a song on there.
But it's Made Beats is like the producer, and he's working with a lot of just Rwandese artists, and it's a wonderful like little look into like what Rwandese pop music is. It's very Afrobeat inspired. Like you can feel like the Wizkid inspirations, the Burna Boy inspirations, but it's very, very unique to what like Rwandese culture and music is. There's a lot of their style, their instruments in the project. Again, came out early last year, and it's been heavy on rotation for me, and I hope a lot of people get into it now. Again, it's another album that if you're a DJ, if you're a curator, you need to get into, because there's a lot of songs that can get heavy rotation on playlists and in the club.
That's dope.
A very, very dope album. The next one is Crash by one of my favorite artists who's never won an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, or a Tony. Charlie XCX. And I love how she...
non-EGOT superstar.
Yeah, like I love how she played into it, like when somebody posted that. But Charlie is a really good artist. Very, very... She stays true to herself more than anything else.
And she's fun on the internet. We love an artist who's fun on the internet.
And Crash is like the final, like... It's like the final metamorphosis of her. Because she was having all the fun on the album. All of the fun. It's not something... I feel like maybe the label let her do whatever she wanted, so she just decided, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want and enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Really good album. One of the, like, I feel best pop albums that came out last year. Didn't get the love it deserved, but I feel like when the time it came out, there were a lot of other big artists releasing, so it didn't... It's like when Carly Rae Jepsen released same day as Taylor Swift. You're just gonna get overshadowed regardless.
Yeah.
Next is Public Displays of Affection, the album by Money Long.
Did not get enough attention last year.
It was like, trust me, I feel like even with
or
its
like the whispers about it.
Even with it debuting at like number 5, still not enough people have heard the album. Everybody knows Hours and Hours, which is big.
Yeah,
but the album is more than just that. Money Long is like, she's like a region of a 90s R&B singer, late 90s, early 2000s R&B singer, and R&B had been moving in a very different direction. So I feel like he's bringing it back to what it was before. And you know everybody loves 90s R&B.
Yeah.
You go to every club, they're gonna at some point to play "Can We Talk for a Minute?" Yeah, and they're gonna play Candy Rain, Soul for Real.
Yeah.
New Edition, Can You Stand the Rain? There's a lot of love and nostalgia around that type of music, around that style.
And that's how Babyface came back last year as well, no?
So Money Long is like a region. She's a region of that era of music, and she's really, really good. And her voice does not like let her, like, he isn't even hiding behind like gimmicks or anything. She is insanely talented. She's an amazing writer, and she's worked really, really hard to get to where she is. I think she's like 35 now.
Ooh.
And she's just breaking into the industry size. Now she's like the R&B ako hapo mbele. So, and guys are listening to there's a lot of like SZA, Ari Lennox.
Yeah.
There's also Nani, what's her name? The one who told and fuck your mama. What's her name? Summer Walker. So she needs to be in that conversation.
How's that how you remember Summer Walker?
It's because the first line on that song is "fuck your mama for giving birth to you," and that's one of the that's one of the hardest lines in my life. So yeah, Money Long, Public Displays of Affection, the album, and finally The Problemist by Fadhili Itulia. Fadhili is a very interesting artist, a Kenyan artist. He exists in his own space where he does whatever he wants, and it's reflected in the music he puts out. He tours a lot, by the way. And not in Kenya, strangely, because a lot of times when I talk to him, he's in Eastern Europe. He's like in Lithuania, and I don't know where. He's just playing these venues. He tours a lot. He has a very unique approach to his music, but the album was really, really good. There's a song on there with Bananas Overdose that I love. It's called Iftali.
I also love Bananas Overdose.
It's an amazing, it's a duet, and it's like the way the voices balance and carry each other, c'est magnifique.
Nice.
So yeah, if you missed out on these projects, by the way, go revisit them. They are all high quality. Everything Sookie has told you, everything I have told you, very, very high quality.
Extremely.
And music comes out every day.
It
So you
does.
might not be able to catch up, or you might not even be aware that they came out. But these 10 projects, if you have time this week, or whenever you listen to this episode, take some time, listen, pick one and just listen to it. Pick whichever you want, actually.
Just stack them up. Actually, like, we should also be more proactive about like getting our lists out probably every other month or week or something. I don't know.
Playlist.
Yes, and a playlist.
Playlist inakuja.
Playlist inakuja. Was it a promise we made last year?
No, but
No, it wasn't. But inakuja.
So yeah.
Yeah. But
We're
it's
back
been
for the
a
new year.
wonderful day.
Episode 14, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Ciao.
Bye.